move over to the NFL. What? The NFL?
The National Football League, if you will.
Training camp started today for the Jets.
Yeah.
Did training camp start for everyone today?
I don't know.
Or is it just the Jets? I don't know. Running backs are not getting paid, and they don't like it.
No, they're not happy about it. Now, okay. Do these running backs deserve the contracts they're asking for? Absolutely. I mean, Saquon Barkley, he had 1,300 yards last year. These guys absolutely deserve the contracts that they're asking for. The problem is the teams are no longer willing to pay these guys. Why? I dove into a couple numbers a little bit here. Looking at some playoff teams last year, more specifically, some Super Bowl teams, Kansas City Chiefs, right? Their leader in rushing yards last year, 830 yards. That was it. Now that's still a good year, but it's not, a 1,000-yard rushing season or anything like that. But they also have Patrick Mahomes, a dual threat quarterback. He can move, he can run out of the pocket. Philadelphia Eagles. Now they had a very good running back, Miles Sanders. He had 1,200 yards last year, but Jalen Hurts, dual threat quarterback. Buffalo Bills, playoff team. Leader in rushing yards, Singletary, only 819 yards. Josh Allen, dual threat quarterback, right? The Bengals, Joe Burrow is not as much of a threat to move, but leader in rushing yards, Joe Mixon, only 814 yards. Basically, what I'm saying is the NFL is still evolving. More passes, more dual threat quarterbacks, in my opinion. They don't want to pay these high-end running backs because they don't need the high-end running backs anymore to be a contender for a championship. That's what I think is happening here, and I think you're going to continue to see that change a little bit. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that these guys are going to get paid anytime soon. I really don't, because the running back, it doesn't last long. It does not last long, You get hit a lot as a running back. You get a lot of concussions, a lot of injuries. There's not a lot of security. You get drafted. You play your first contract. You get franchise tagged. You find a new running back.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. You could look at the Super Bowl winning teams for the last 10 years. I think there's only like one superstar running back in there, and I don't even know. I don't know who that would even be. Because I remember seeing the stat of all. I mean, come on, the running backs for teams that win Super Bowl, they're not very good. You look at the Patriots teams. You can look at the Eagles in 2017. You can look at the Chiefs the last few years. It's not that they're not very good. It just comes down to offensive line. It comes down to, can you run through this hole? You can? Okay, you're on the team. So, I mean, do you necessarily need to pay Saquon Barkley $15, $16 million a year and more? No, because you can just go and get a guy that can run up the middle, rush for 800 yards in a season.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a guy to rush for 1,300 yards anymore. Is it nice to have? Sure. But it's not going to happen. Do I get where these running backs are coming from? Sure.
Yeah.
Do I get where they're? Yeah. I mean, they're putting up really good numbers. It deserves to be reflected in their contracts.
They deserve the money. The problem is these teams don't need to pay for those types of players anymore.
I think what really killed it was Le'Veon Bell. When he sat out with the Steelers, didn't get the contract he wanted, took a pay cut, came to the Jets, had a terrible, he just fell off the face of the earth after that. And it kind of showed, okay, these running backs, they can hold out all they want. It doesn't matter anymore because you look at a guy like Le'Veon Bell, who was the best running back in the game of football, and then fell off a cliff because he hit that, when running backs get to that 26, 27, 28 range in age, they're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and even, like you said, if they don't need to spend high dollar on something that they don't need, they're not going to. They obviously, teams want to pay their quarterback first and foremost, pay the defense a little bit, more specifically defensive and offensive lines. That's where money needs to be spent in the NFL to have successful teams, in my opinion. You just need a guy that, as you said, can run the ball through some holes and get you a couple first downs here and there. Because I think more and more you're seeing quarterbacks that are very athletic and can help your run game out by themselves. So running back, it's still an important position. You still need somewhat of a run game to be successful, but I don't think it's as premium a position as what it has been, and I think that change is going to stay that way.
The league is changing and is becoming more of a passing league.
Yep.